the best place for a traveler to fall ill. A quarter of a century ago, Connolly lived in Moscow as the BBC's correspondent. Since then he's reported from across the world, but recently returned to visit his old Russian haunts where, despite huge changes, he found some surprising similarities. It is a strange feeling to return after a long absence to a city where you once lived. And nowhere is that more true than in Moscow, one of the few places on earth where the past really is another country. It feels like working as an archaeologist of your own past, searching for the bones of the old Soviet capital beneath the surface of the modern Russian city. I ended up retracing my own footsteps a little too faithfully, contracting pneumonia again here as I once did in the period when I lived through 5 long, dark, Soviet winters many years ago. Still, even a fleeting glance of this extraordinary place is enough to give you a feeling for what has changed and what has remained the same. Spring sunshine still comes in sudden bursts with the intensity of a match being struck in a darkened room. And some old habits die hard. The waiter politely told he'd brought fizz mineral water instead of flat reacts with intense exasperation, as though he's going to have to remove each of the offending bubbles individually with a pair of tweezers. In another restaurant, the manager helpfully works her way through the enormous menu, placing an X against the small number of dishes which are actually available, like someone filling in a giant Pools coupon. But there are more positive echoes of the old days too. Pride in the victory of 1945 in what Russians call the Great Patriotic War remains undimmed, the defining achievement of this country's own greatest generation. The official commemoration may not attract the level of foreign guest for which the Kremlin might originally have hoped. Western governments sense in it an opera